Have you ever wondered how a simple event can completely shake the trust and stability of a family? Or how love can be tested in the most unexpected circumstances? Imagine this. A black woman gives birth to a white-skinned child. In what should be a moment of pure joy, a storm of doubt and distrust arises. The husband, convinced that he has been betrayed, abandons the family. But years later, life takes an unexpected turn. In this video, we will explore this moving story, where surprising revelations and hidden truths will challenge the bonds of love and family. Get ready for a journey that will captivate you from beginning to end, and perhaps change the way you see the world around you. Stay with us and discover what happens when the unexpected becomes the key to redemption and forgiveness. Let's go on this journey of discovery and intense emotions together. In the quiet village of São Miguel, where everyone knew each other by name, the arrival of a new baby was always a reason for celebration. Marta, a vibrant black woman with a generous heart, was about to give birth to her first child with her husband, João. The couple, who had always been seen as pillars of the community, eagerly awaited the arrival of their baby. At the local hospital, the mood was one of anticipation and joy. The midwives and nurses, all of whom Marta and João knew, were ready to help. When the baby was finally born, a shocked silence filled the delivery room. Marta, exhausted but radiant, looked at her son for the first time. He had light, almost white skin. The gossip began almost immediately. João, unable to deal with the barrage of malicious comments and the doubts that consumed him, confronted Marta. He could not understand how his son could have skin so different from theirs. The tension between the couple grew until João, overcome by a mixture of anger and pain, abandoned Marta and the baby, not believing in her fidelity. Alone, Marta had to deal with João's rejection and the judgment of the community. Despite the pain, she decided to raise her son, Gabriel, with love and determination. Marta always believed that the truth would come out, but the years that followed were hard. Gabriel grew up under the critical eyes of the residents of São Miguel, questioning his own identity. Years passed, and Gabriel was now an intelligent and curious teenager. He never knew why his father had abandoned them, and Marta always avoided talking about it. Gabriel felt that something was missing in his story and decided to investigate on his own. Meanwhile, João lived in a distant city, trying to forget the past. He had remarried, but could never get over the betrayal he believed he had suffered. One day, he received an anonymous letter that said, "The truth is closer than you think." The message deeply disturbed him, reopening old wounds. Gabriel, in his investigations, found an old photograph of his mother with a man who was not his father. He confronted Marta, who finally revealed that the man in the photo was his twin brother, Mateus, who had mysteriously disappeared years before Gabriel was born. Mateus was albino, a genetic condition that would explain Gabriel's light skin. The revelation shocked Gabriel, but he felt there was more to the story. He decided to look for Mateus, believing that he could bring the answers he had been searching for. With the help of a hacker friend, Gabriel managed to track Mateus' whereabouts to a nearby town. Determined to find his uncle, he embarked on a journey full of uncertainty, leaving Marta, his mother, worried. She, although distressed, knew that Gabriel needed to discover the truth on his own. Meanwhile, João, increasingly obsessed with the anonymous letter he had received, decided to start his own investigation. He returned to São Miguel, revisiting places from his past, and talking to old acquaintances. As the pieces of the puzzle began to fit together, João realized that he might have been unfair in his suspicions about Marta. Gabriel finally found Mateus, who led a simple and reclusive life. The revelation that he had a nephew left him stunned, and even more so when he discovered the reason for Gabriel's visit. Matthew confirmed the story that Marta had told, revealing his condition as an albino and sharing secrets from the past that had been buried until then. Back in São Miguel, John met Marta again. He was determined to hear the truth, but doubts and resentments still weighed on his heart. Marta, on the other hand, was willing to forgive, but knew that she needed John to believe her so that they could move forward. Matthew decided to return to São Miguel with Gabriel to reveal the whole truth. Matthew's arrival in the town caused an uproar, as many thought he was dead. He told his story to the village, explaining his condition and revealing that Gabriel's fair skin was a result of his genetics. When João saw Mateus, he finally understood the truth. He realized the terrible mistake he had made by abandoning Marta and Gabriel. Moved and remorseful, he asked Marta and his son for forgiveness, wanting to make up for lost time. Marta, despite the pain she had suffered, saw genuine remorse in João's eyes. She accepted his apology, but knew that complete forgiveness would take time. Gabriel, in turn, was happy to finally know the truth about his origins, but he still had conflicting feelings towards his father. With the truth finally out in the open, João found himself faced with the difficult task of repairing the bonds that, over time and through misunderstandings, had been broken. He set out to rebuild his relationship with Marta and Gabriel, knowing that the road would be long and full of challenges. Determined to redeem himself, João made the courageous decision to return to São Miguel, the city he had once left behind, in the hope of being closer to the family he had abandoned. The community of São Miguel, which had previously viewed Gabriel with suspicion and prejudice, began to see him in a new light. With the truth revealed, the locals began to abandon their old judgments, replacing them with acceptance and, in some cases, even admiration. Gabriel, who had always felt like an outsider in his own land, began to experience a kind of welcome he had never imagined possible. Meanwhile, Gabriel also began an unexpected relationship with Mateus, his newly discovered uncle. The bond between them, which was initially marked by curiosity and a certain hesitation, grew stronger as they spent more time together. Their conversations, which had previously been formal and somewhat uncomfortable, began to transform into sincere exchanges of stories and experiences. Mateus, a man marked by isolation and secrets from his past, found in Gabriel a companion who gave him a new perspective on life, while Gabriel saw in Mateus a mentor and a link to his roots. However, this newfound peace began to prove fragile when the shadows of the past returned to haunt the family. The question of the anonymous letter that João had received, and which had set off the entire chain of events, remained a disturbing mystery. Who could have sent that letter? And with what intention? As João, Marta, and Gabriel got closer to the truth, new revelations threatened to destabilize the harmony they were struggling to establish. The enigma of the letter became increasingly urgent, suggesting that the secrets of the past had not yet been fully unraveled and that new surprises awaited the family. Life for Marta, João, Gabriel, and Mateus was slowly getting back on track, but the marks of the past still loomed over them, especially in the form of the anonymous letter that had brought João back to São Miguel. That letter, with its enigmatic words and the mystery surrounding its sender, continued to be a disturbing presence, raising questions that no one knew how to answer. Who would have an interest in reopening old wounds and, more importantly, why? Tormented by these questions, João decided that he could not simply leave the mystery unsolved. He began to investigate the origin of the letter, reviewing the words that had led him back to his family. The truth is closer than you think. These words, so loaded with meaning, seemed to indicate that the author of the letter was not a stranger, but someone close to him, someone who knew deeply about the secrets and pains of that family. Determined to find answers, João sought out old friends and acquaintances, revisiting places and memories that he thought he had left behind. The search led him to an unexpected figure, Helena, a longtime friend of the family. Helena had always been present at important moments, a constant and reliable figure, but never someone João considered suspicious. When João confronted Helena about the letter, she hesitated, but eventually confessed that she was indeed the author. The revelation left João stunned. Helena, with a serious expression, explained that, during all those years, she had always known the truth about Mateus. The weight of this secret, combined with her unrequited love for João, led her to act. Helena believed that the only way to heal the family's wounds was to bring everyone back to the table, forcing the truth to come out. To her, the letter was a desperate attempt to mend what was broken, to bring back together a family fractured by time and misunderstandings. Despite Helena's good intentions, her revelation brought a new avalanche of emotions. John and Martha, upon discovering the truth, felt a mixture of gratitude and pain. On the one hand, they were relieved to finally know who had reopened the wounds and why. On the other, Helena's actions had made the painful memories of the separation and suffering they had experienced for so many years were resurfacing. Now, with their cards on the table, João and Marta would have to face these new emotions, dealing not only with the consequences of the past, but also with the present, where the shadow of the letter still lingered, challenging them to find a path to true reconciliation. With the truth about the letter exposed, the family began to focus on healing the wounds of the past and building a future together. João made an effort to make up for lost time with Gabriel, participating in his life and supporting his choices. Marta, although cautious, accepted João back into her life, realizing that the love she felt for him was still there, even after so many years of suffering. Matthew, on the other hand, began to reintegrate into the community of São Miguel. He found support and acceptance, and his presence helped to break down barriers and prejudices that still persisted. Gabriel, now with a complete understanding of his heritage, found strength in his identity and in the love of his family. However, Helena, despite her initial intentions, began to feel the weight of her intervention. She saw that her attempt to help had also caused pain and complications. She decided to step aside, allowing the family to heal without her constant influence. The reconciliation between João and Marta was not easy, but their love for each other proved resilient. They began to spend more time together, rediscovering what had brought them together in the first place. Small gestures and shared moments brought back the lost intimacy. Marta, although still hurt, decided to give João a second chance. Gabriel, observing his parents' union, felt a relief and happiness he had never experienced before. He also developed a strong bond with Matthias, who became a mentor and friend to him. The community of São Miguel, seeing the family's example, began to change its attitudes. Prejudice and distrust gave way to acceptance and support. The story of Marta, João, and Gabriel inspired many to look beyond appearances and to value truth and love above all else. Just as the dust of their recent reconciliation was beginning to settle, a new and surprising revelation shook the fragile peace the family had achieved. Matthew, on one of his visits to an old childhood friend, found old, dusty documents that would forever change his understanding of himself and his sister, Marta. These papers, kept for decades, contained secrets that his adoptive parents had kept hidden, perhaps to protect them, or perhaps out of shame for the truths they contained. When he came across the documents, Matthew discovered something he had never suspected. Both he and Marta were adopted. The parents he had always believed to be their true parents were not related by blood to them. This revelation was a profound blow, especially since his adoptive parents were no longer alive to explain the circumstances of this decision. The documents not only revealed the adoption, but also told a complex and tragic story about their biological parents. Their real parents, according to the records, were people whose lives had been marked by immense challenges, including financial hardship, mental health issues, and even tragedies that forced the separation of their children. The reasons for the adoption, a mix of desperation and hope for a better life for Matthias and Marta, painted a painful and moving picture. This new truth plunged the family, already fragile due to the recent discoveries, into a new wave of uncertainty and questioning. Gabriel, who was beginning to understand his own identity and place in the family, now had to deal with the idea that his mother and uncle, the people he had always known as his blood, were also facing an identity crisis. Marta, in turn, was overcome by a whirlwind of emotions. The shock of learning that the parents who raised her were not her biological parents, the curiosity about who her real parents were, and the pain of realizing that she had never had the chance to know them. The revelation of Matthias and Marta's true origins brought to the surface deep questions about identity, belonging, and legacy. What does it mean to be part of a family? Is the bond of blood stronger than the bond of love and coexistence? These new questions forced the family to confront, once again, the complexities of their past. Now, in addition to dealing with the emotional scars left by previous revelations, they had to navigate a new reality, where the search for answers about who they really were became a central question in their lives. As the family struggled to digest these revelations, the decisions they had made and the lives they had led up until then began to be revisited in a new light. The choices made by their parents, decisions that had previously been seen as decisions of love and sacrifice, were now being evaluated through the lens of a long-kept secret. And once again, the past intertwined with the present, challenging each of them to understand that while the truth can be painful, it can also be the path to healing and true understanding of themselves and their family ties. The discovery of Matthew and Martha's adoption tested them all once again. They had to reevaluate what it meant to be a family and how to deal with new challenges. John, who had already overcome so many hardships, found himself tested once again, but this time he was determined not to abandon his family again. Martha, strengthened by past experiences, led the family toward a new understanding and acceptance of their origins. Gabriel, with Matthew's wisdom and support, found a new sense of purpose and belonging. The ultimate truth, though painful and complex, brought the family even closer together. They learned that love and truth are the pillars that support any relationship and that, regardless of the past, what matters is the present and the future that they build together. With the new revelation about adoption, Marta and Mateus felt an urgent need to find out more about their biological parents. Together, with the support of João and Gabriel, they began an investigation to trace their origins. They discovered that their biological parents, Ana and Paulo, were from a small town nearby, and their lives were marked by tragedy and sacrifice. Ana and Paulo were an interracial couple who faced strong opposition from their families and society. Unable to raise their children in such a hostile environment, they decided to give them up for adoption in the hope that they would have a better life. This story of love and sacrifice deeply touched Marta, Mateus, and the entire family, providing a new perspective on their own lives and struggles. When visiting the town where Ana and Paulo had lived, Marta and Mateus met distant relatives who were thrilled to meet them. They discovered that Ana and Paulo were loved and respected people whose lives were marked by courage and resilience. These encounters further strengthened the family bond, bringing a new sense of belonging and history. With their roots finally known, the family returned to São Miguel with a new sense of identity and purpose. João and Marta decided to renew their wedding vows, celebrating not only their love, but also the journey they had faced together. The ceremony was a community event, symbolizing the community's renewed acceptance and support. Gabriel, inspired by the story of his biological grandparents and the example of his parents, decided to pursue a career in law to fight for justice and equality. He committed to using his own life experience to help those facing discrimination and prejudice. Mateus, now a respected figure in São Miguel, decided to share his story and knowledge by creating a community center to support young people facing similar challenges to those he had faced. He became a mentor and a source of inspiration to many, helping to build a better future for the community. Despite the peace and happiness the family had achieved, one final test lay ahead. Helena, the author of the anonymous letter, reappeared with a secret that once again threatened the family's stability. She revealed that, before sending the letter, she had discovered that Paulo, Marta, and Mateus' biological father, was alive and living in a nursing home in the city. This news shocked everyone, especially Marta and Mateus, who believed that their biological parents had passed away. They decided to look for Paulo, with mixed hope and fear. When they found him, they discovered a man marked by time and hardship, but still full of love and memories of his life with Ana. The reunion was emotional and painful, bringing up old memories and unhealed wounds. However, Paulo's presence completed a cycle, allowing the family to finally fully understand their origins and the strength of the love that united them. With Paulo now a part of their lives, the family of Marta, João, Gabriel, and Mateus became even stronger. They began to value every moment together, knowing that they had faced and overcome unimaginable challenges. His family's story became a testament to resilience and the power of love and truth. The community of São Miguel, inspired by the family's journey, began to transform. Prejudice and mistrust gave way to acceptance and mutual support. Mateus Community Center became a symbol of hope and progress, helping to build a better future for all. Gabriel, now a promising young lawyer, used his voice to defend the rights of the marginalized and fight for justice. His own story of overcoming and identity and served as a powerful example for all who encountered challenges in their lives. Time passed, and the family continued to grow and prosper. Marta and João, now grandparents, saw in their grandchildren the continuation of a legacy of love and resilience. Mateus, with his wisdom and experience, continued to inspire and guide young people on their journeys. Gabriel, having built a remarkable career, always remembered his origins and the strength of his family. He knew that no matter what challenges life presented, love and truth were the pillars that supported everything. The story of Marta, João, Gabriel, and Mateus became a legend in São Miguel, an eternal example that no matter how difficult the journey, truth and love will always prevail. The family, now united by unbreakable bonds, knew that their legacy would live on forever, inspiring future generations to fight for justice, love, and acceptance. With the family now united and strong, a new challenge arose to test their resilience. A mining company had discovered valuable resources in the land surrounding São Miguel and was determined to buy the area at any cost. The proposal promised to transform the small town, but it also threatened to destroy the environment and displace several families. The community was divided between those who saw the opportunity for progress and those who feared the ecological and social consequences. Gabriel, now a respected lawyer, took the lead in the fight against the mining company, defending the interests of the residents and the environment. João and Mateus joined Gabriel, using their influence and experience to mobilize the community. Marta, with her vibrant spirit and generous heart, organized events and meetings to educate and inspire the residents to unite in defense of their land. The battle against the mining company was intense and exhausting. Gabriel faced threats and intimidation, but remained steadfast in his conviction to protect São Miguel. The company used every means possible to pressure the community, including bribes and disinformation campaigns. During a crucial public hearing, Gabriel presented compelling evidence about the damage that mining would do to the environment and the quality of life of the residents. His eloquence and passion won many hearts, but the company still had powerful allies. However, an unexpected ally emerged. Helena, feeling that she owed one last contribution to the family she so admired, revealed secret documents that proved the company's corrupt intentions. These documents became the key to exposing the company and strengthening Gabriel's position. With the evidence in hand, Gabriel and his team secured a legal victory against the mining company. The decision was celebrated by the entire community, which now recognized the importance of protecting their land and their way of life. The legal victory not only preserved São Miguel, but also strengthened the bonds of the community. The unity and determination of the residents became an example for other communities facing similar challenges. Gabriel was recognized as a local hero, and his family became a symbol of resilience and justice. With the threat of mining averted, São Miguel began to explore sustainable forms of development. Marta led community initiatives to promote ecotourism and local crafts, bringing new economic opportunities to the town without compromising its environmental heritage. João and Mateus became involved in educational projects, sharing their stories and experiences to inspire young people to value and protect their environment. They helped establish mentoring and training programs, preparing the next generation to face challenges with courage and wisdom. As the years passed, the family continued to prosper. Gabriel married and had children, passing on to them the values of justice, love, and resilience he learned from his parents and uncles. Marta and Joao, now in their old age, looked back with pride on the impact of their legacy in São Miguel and beyond. Mateus, always the mentor and guide, continued to be an inspiring presence in the community, ensuring that the family's story would be remembered and celebrated for generations to come. The community center he helped found expanded to become a beacon of hope and progress. São Miguel, transformed by the family's struggles and victories, became an example of how a united community can face and overcome any challenge. The legacy of Martha, John, Gabriel, and Matthew has endured, inspiring everyone to fight for a future where love, truth, and justice always prevail. Years later, Gabriel is now a mature and accomplished man. His children, Lucas and Sophia, grew up hearing the heroic stories of their family and the challenges they faced. Lucas, the eldest, felt a huge responsibility to continue his father's legacy of justice and leadership. Sophia, on the other hand, he developed a passion for art and culture, inspired by his grandmother Marta. She began using her art to tell the stories of São Miguel, creating murals and exhibits that attracted visitors from far and wide. One day, while exploring old documents in the town library, Lucas came across a letter that had never been seen before. The letter was from Anna, Marta and Mateus's biological mother, written shortly before her death. In it, Anna described a hidden fortune that she and Paulo had set aside for their children, hoping that one day they would be able to find it. The discovery of the letter piqued the curiosity of the entire family. Marta and Mateus were thrilled to learn that their biological parents had left them something. The letter mentioned a specific location in Anna and Paulo's former home, now an abandoned property. Together, Gabriel, Lucas, Sophia, Marta and Mateus set out to find the treasure. The journey was not easy. The house was in ruins and the land around it had been overgrown with vegetation. But with determination and teamwork, they began to explore the location mentioned in the letter. After days of searching, they finally found a safe buried under an old tree. Inside the safe, in addition to a significant sum of money, were diaries and letters from Anna and Paulo, revealing more about their lives and the love they had for their children. Anna and Paulo's diaries and letters provided a deep connection to the past. Marta and Mateus learned more about the sacrifices their parents had made for them and understood how much they were loved. This discovery brought a new level of healing and understanding to the entire family. With the fortune they found, they decided to invest in the community of São Miguel. They built a new school, improved local infrastructure, and created scholarships for promising young people. Anna and Paulo's legacy became a catalyst for the development and continued progress of the city. Sophia, using her art and passion for culture, organized an international exhibition that told the story of São Miguel and her family's struggle. The exhibition traveled to several cities around the world, attracting global attention and creating connections with other communities facing similar challenges. Lucas, inspired by his father's work, began working with international human rights organizations, using his family's story as an example of resilience and justice. He became a global advocate, fighting for marginalized communities and promoting policies for equity. Despite the distances and new challenges, the family remained close. Marta and Joao, now enjoying their retirement, spent their days surrounded by grandchildren and friends, proud of the lasting impact they had made in São Miguel. Gabriel continued his work as a lawyer, but now with a global reach, inspiring and empowering the next generation of leaders. Mateus, ever the mentor, continued to guide young people and tell the stories of his life and his family. As time passed, Marta and João felt their time was coming to an end. They were at peace, knowing that they had created a strong family and left a meaningful legacy. At a final family gathering, they shared their stories, laughter, and tears, celebrating the journey they had traveled together. That day, they planted a tree in the center of São Miguel, symbolizing growth, resilience, and the continuation of their legacy. The tree became a symbol for the entire community, a constant reminder that, no matter the challenges, love and truth always prevail. And so, the story of Marta, João, Gabriel, Mateus, Lucas, and Sophia continued to live on in the hearts and minds of all who found inspiration in their lives. A story of struggle, love, resilience, and, above all, of a family that, together, could overcome any obstacle.